So this is the We Don't Know show. Sandra Bellamy is here still.
Hello.
Sandra, you can stay till 12, yeah, roughly speaking.
Yes, I can.
We'll probably stop about 1:45 just to tidy up a little bit and make sure the studio's in a good condition for the next show. Because we've only got the one studio here on Phonic. But I just wanted to explain a little bit what we've been doing in between the records. So I've photographed your first book, Asexual Perspectives. When did that come out?
That's my first asexual book.
Asexual book, sorry,
the redundancy one in 2015. So this came out in 2017. So it's called Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex, a celebration of asexual diversity. So it basically is to show asexuality in real life context, not just textbook definitions of them. So I interviewed 46 asexuals around the globe and across the asexual spectrum, because asexuality is a spectrum, which we haven't dived into yet. And therefore, people can get different perspectives on different questions to do with love, life and sex, such as what's the difference between I'm mindful of the morning show now. You know, I was going to say what's the difference between like arousal and sexual attraction, for example, if I'm allowed to say that on a morning show.
Well, sorry, I've just been. No, we've got a fairly open approach. I was just noticing that we might go off into things which we wouldn't normally talk about daytime, but do carry on, I think.
Yeah, because there's excellent sound alternative, so you're listening to a different sound in the morning today. So I also ask people questions like, if you were if you were to give advice to someone who just found out they're asexual, what advice would you give them and stuff like that? Because there's a lot of misconceptions and stereotypes about asexuality, what it is and what it isn't. So, for example, asexuality is not abstaining from sex. It's not a choice. It's a sexual orientation where you literally don't have a lack of sexual attraction. It could be you don't experience any if you're pure asexual, or you can experience sexual attraction, but only under limited, rare or specific circumstances you'd be a grey asexual. So you have a spectrum from the people who are asexuals, pure asexuals who don't experience any sexual attraction, going up throughout the range to the grey asexuals who might experience it, just not the full range that a normal heterosexual, if you like, would experience, if that makes sense. I'm keeping it very basic for your listeners here.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. I just wanted to mention that I'll just explain the simple social media that we've got on as the We Not Know show, which is an account on what used to be Twitter, which is now X, WENOTNO. So I've photographed the book on my phone and retweeted it. So you can, if you still use X, you could find it there. But you've done a short as well. Yeah, just to explain that quick. We'll come back to shorts later in the show, but just to let people know.
So I have an asexual channel called Asexualize My Asexual Life, and in my channel description it actually has on that channel my book, which is called Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories. That's the main title, and then you've got the Love, Life and Sex, a celebration of asexual diversity is the subtitle. So all you have to do if you want to find me on X. I'm on X at Asexualize as well, at Asexualize with an S, and because it's spelled ASEXUALISE. That's how I spell it. There's an American spelling with a Z as well, and so I've got asexualize.com, which is my website as well. So that book's on there. But if you just type into Amazon Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, it will come up just like that, because it's available to buy on Amazon. So it's got a purple and orange cover, and every person in the book has their own individual interview. So it's me asking questions to different asexuals about questions that I get asked all the time about asexuality when people don't know about it, and you can discover like how young some people are. Some of them like 11 and 12 years old when they discover they're asexual, which is really, like mind-blowing for some people. So, you can find it out at a very young age, even at school age, that you're asexual. It's good to talk about this. It should be educated in schools, because there are some kids that are feeling, especially when they get to their teens, you know, and kind of like a lot of boys and girls are like hormones are going, and if they're not feeling the same, like they might, like a lot of boys and girls might be talking about like, you know, things they're doing and other people, you know, like when I was at school, for example, they used to talk about the words getting off, which, you know, I didn't even know what that meant really, and I'm like, what is that? I knew it was a sexual term, but when you're at school, like if you're an outsider, if you don't understand that type of language, or, you know, people are like, oh, this guy's or girl's so hot, and they just go after them, especially when they get to like the age of 14, 15, and there's children, you know, you're at school and you're just thinking, I don't register that, I don't feel like that, I don't have those same feelings. It can be very isolating and feel very lost and lonely. So I put together the Asexual Perspectives book, interviewing different asexuals. So there's different relatable stories, and it includes like people who found out they're asexual very, very young, so that they can like read the book and see, am I asexual? Is there something different about me that I have, you know, I have these people that like me and didn't realise. So it's a really good book.
So you've also got an academy website.
Asexualize Academy, yeah. So
that's more, is that academic sort of training?
Yeah, so
direction.
At the moment I've got 3 courses on Thinkific, so it redirects to my Thinkific school, and it has Asexuality Basics for Beginners course free on there, which is like a video training course that people can go do. So if they want to understand the basics of asexuality more, they can go to Asexualize Academy and like go through the link, and they can go to my Thinkific site and platform, which obviously Thinkific is the hosting platform, and I've got like a mini training course on there with all different videos that they can go watch, teaching you the basics of asexuality, the basics of the asexual spectrum. And so it's really interesting. And then I've got a couple of other courses on there, which are how to arrange asexual meetups, because that's what I did for about over 5 years. So in-person meetups with other people in the UK. They used to come to Exeter to my in-person meetups, because when you meet people in real life, it solidifies your sexual orientation, it solidifies your asexuality. You realise it's not some abstract thing, it's not some thing that's like, you know, a lot of people like can make fun of people going, oh, you know, it's not a real thing, asexuality, it doesn't really exist. Well, I exist, I'm real, books for asexuals exist, clothing for asexual exists. I produce, you know, I do designs for asexual t-shirts that are on Amazon, for example, and Redbubble as well. And, you know, there's a lot of us all spread around the globe, or all spread around the world. But, you know, even in the UK, I bring people together in the UK, and I did that for 5 years. Just life's changed a bit for me now, so I haven't done it for a little while. So
how do you maintain the academy aspect of it, like an online learning approach, as well as a sort of campaigning approach?
Yeah, so at the moment it's just like housing my courses on there. It's not something I have to maintain myself, because it's maintained by the Thinkific team. So
sorry, say that again.
Thinkific. So Thinkific is a learning platform where you can host your courses.
Oh, right.
So as we're talking about tech now, this would be a tech thing, right?
Yeah.
So there are things like Teachable, which is another hosting company for courses. Udemy, obviously you can produce courses and put them on Udemy. So these are all hosting platforms. So you don't have to host it on your own website, you host it on their servers. So I had to create the video training courses and upload them. The Asexuality Basics for Beginners course is free. The other 2 are paid for courses, which teach people how to host their own asexual meetups and go really in depth on there. One's an online course, you know, meeting asexuals online, the other one's in person, and you get the online one free with that at the moment. So
right, but the platform take care of all of that.
Yes, that's right. So you can I can build my own websites, even though I can't code, so I could host them on my own websites, but I don't have that knowledge of how to go about coding to put them on my own website.
Right.
So I've currently got them on Thinkific. I had them on another platform, but unfortunately during the pandemic that actually ceased to be in existence, because, you know, their business, that's the problem. When you're using your own platform, obviously, then you're responsible for your own website and stuff. But when you're outsourcing, if something happens to that company and they fizzle out, you know, they go bust or whatever happens to them, or they can't sustain the business, then you've got to find another platform, and unless you can download those video training calls, you've got to have like a hard drive or something with them on, then upload them to somewhere else.
Right.
So does that make sense?
Yeah, surely.
So I mostly coach live during evening, like late night sessions on my My Asexual Live channel for free. Like I do educational content at night. I've just got back into doing that because I had some personal difficulties that I had to take time out. So I was just really uploading shorts lifestyle videos on My Asexual Live channel. But I usually do, and I love to do, an educational evening show, live chat show, where people can literally message anything in chat, like different questions, and I will answer them, but I always pick a topic and ad lib. So I'll talk about how to be a confident asexual, for example, how to self-care when you're asexual. But these topics are themes relevant to any sexuality and any person. So when I first started my channel, I would literally go and just talk about asexuality the whole time, and I would just usually do like one video a week, roughly, for 10 minutes talking about a topic to do asexuality. Now,
so this was on YouTube, the videos you were doing then?
Yeah, so the Asexualize Academy is separate to Asexualize My Asexual Life.
Yes, yeah, but that's but I think
on Asexualize My Asexual Life, I do educational content and I do lifestyle vlogs, entertainment and information. So at night I do a live chat show. That's my USP, unique selling point of my show, is I do a live chat show, often for an hour or more, talking about a topic related to asexuality, but could be related to people in general. And I cover dating, relationships, confidence, self-love and self-care are my 5 main topics I cover.
So slow down a bit. You do that on YouTube?
Yeah, on Asexualize My Asexual Live YouTube show, yeah.
So that is a live chat show?
Live chat show, yeah. Broadcast live.
Whereas, just going back to the first bit, the platform, just mention the platform again that are doing the academy bit.
So the Asexualize Academy currently is hosted on Thinkific, but it's
Thinkific. Just to explore this a little bit. So Thinkific have their own standards of what learning is and how to present learning, and whether it's subjective content. That's what's interesting, because you've got the word academy in it. In the title, and I'm interested in how learning happens online, because I know that a lot of higher education, for example, is moving online.
Right.
So I'm just interested in how that works.
Right. Okay.
And how you present academic content or allegedly objective or description of something, and then also campaign. Because a lot of what you say is definitely in a campaigning mode. You're making a point, but you're also saying that you're describing something as a source of knowledge about it.
So I own the website domain asexualizeacademy.com. That's my own domain, my own website.
Right.
But I don't host my courses on there.
Right,
so
okay.
When someone goes to that site, they fill in a form usually to join my newsletter if they want, but they redirect. So when you're doing tech stuff, right, you put a redirection on there to another website.
Right.
So when they fill in the form, they can either, because it's not compulsory they join my newsletter, that's optional. So they can join my newsletter, and whether they join it or not, or they can click no thanks, they then redirects to my course site. Now, Thinkific.com is the name of the platform that hosts my courses. Then you actually create your own unique domain name within their site. So they don't have the word Asexualize Academy apart from for my courses, because it's like Thinkific.com. I can't remember the exact. I should remember. I can't remember the exact way they do it, but it's like Thinkific.com/Asexualize Academy.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, people can find it if they need to.
But if they go to asexualizeacademy.com, it automatically redirects to there.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Those.
Yes. And then
I go free content on my Asexualize My Asexual Life channel.
Yeah, no, I was just trying to understand. I mean, I might come back to it later on, but just how different things work. But as a platform, they've got their own criteria and their own methods of doing things.
Yeah, so you can put videos on there. You can upload PDFs on there for people to do workbooks. and stuff like that. So
Right.
they when whatever platform you decide to host your courses on, if it's not your own website, you've got to then abide by the guidelines of what they set of how they do the courses and the elements of the courses. So you'll have like much like a book, you'll have like the chapter, if you like, you'll have like the video, like the main title of the area of the content, and then you'll have the videos underneath it.
Right.
So for example, like asexual spectrum would be like this would be an area in the content, and then it would describe like the different parts of the asexual spectrum, like the difference between a grey asexual, for example, and a pure asexual, or a different parts of the asexual spectrum, like what's the difference between a demi-romantic and a demisexual. This would all come under like parts of the asexual spectrum. So without going into the whole course details, there's different parts. So you have like a section of what the general description, like you do in a chapter, and then you have like
right.
it's like having subtitles off that.
Right.
Similar to a book in that way, if you understand what I mean.
Surely, yeah. No, that explains it, and I'll come back to how I think this relates to the university scene and so forth.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Come back to that later on. But I think play another track.
Yeah.
So this next track is Montel Jordan.
This is how we do it. Yes, and I don't think of this in a sexual way. I just think of this as, high octane energy song.
So,
and I like clubbing, even though I'm asexual, so I really like club tracks.
Okay. This is the radio version.